My first love was sculpture. It began when I was around 5 years old. In my archives, you'll find a few pieces from that time. Early memories, etched not only in form but in feeling. I remember the tactile wonder of shaping materials with my hands, discovering the magic of dimension. Drawing would come later, and painting, though I did create my first self portrait when I was around 15. But 2D art making wouldn't really truly ignite in my soul until my mid 20s. It was around the age of 5 or 7 that my hands became driven by a kind of joyful curiosity. I would dismantle electronics, not to break them, but to see what lived inside, to find parts and moving pieces and reassemble them into something else entirely. Yep, I did get electrocuted more than once, but I wasn't thinking as an artist then, not consciously. I was simply following joy, being immersed in the experience. That spirit, that same impulse is still at the core of everything I do today. I remember the first sculpture I ever made, a working radio that I disassembled and rebirthed it on a piece of 2x4 wood, and I transformed it into a plugged in sculptural creation. I gave it to my father, and his reaction was full of wonder and love, and that imprinted something deep in me. From that moment, art became my language of love. Every birthday, every Christmas, every Father's Day, I gave him something from my hands, and that tradition has never stopped. Now, as I speak to you about these sculptures and landscapes, know this: my life as an artist has always been about freedom, exploration, the desire to overturn every stone, to chase every spark of inspiration that I feel. My creative life is sustained by disciplines I've practiced over a lifetime and exercises that keep me in resonance with the sacred rhythm of my heart. For me, creativity is more than an act, it is the heart of joy itself, the means by which I feel dreams take form. Although it's finished today, May 1st, 2025, this collection, they really came into being about a year ago on May 24th, 2024. So it was a time when artificial intelligence was really getting its footing into the public's hands. As a technologist and a futurist, I was already exploring what tomorrow might hold, and AI became this new tool, a new medium through which I could extend my vision, where merging material, medium, matter, and mind was really what I'm all about. These works are not just images, they're spiritual excursions born from a soul seeking expansion. For me, creativity, as I see it, is not just the artist's gift, it's a human birthright. It's like a divine current within us all. And when we tap into that current, we are brought into contact with the source of our existence, the inner force that transforms longing into reality. With AI, I'm now able to give shape to ideas that once lived only in my dreams. These sculptures, though digital, are grounded in the tactile history of my hands. They reflect a love for materials, metal, stone, light, and resins, yeah, and for the interplay of contrast, vibrant against muted, polished against rusted. I mean, these are all my dreams. These are all my expressions that I've been riding with since childhood. And to be able to reveal these structural visions, which are sometimes complex and hold diverse engineering, which could be 20 feet tall in my imagination. now to be able to explore and express this. Photography, too, has always been close to my heart. I picked up my first camera around the age of 13 and pursued it with such intensity that many came to know me as a photographer at a certain point in my life. And though my roots were equally planted in the world of three-dimensional creation, over time, as space and materials became limited for me, the digital realm became a fertile ground. And it was no accident that while I was still in school at RIT, I was invited to test beta versions of Photoshop before it was ever released to the public. So my life has always aligned with the new, with the intuitive, and I always saw this as a consequential dynamic of practicing to be in a flow state. So these pieces really represent the marriage of two great loves of mine, which are photography and sculpture. The landscapes serve as a backdrop with a resonant, alive energy capturing the soul of nature. And the sculptures, meanwhile, are the dream forms, the fusions of sacred geometry and abstraction, which is liberated from conventional boundaries. Though born digitally, they are entirely buildable. And in their creation, I feel the same release a mother might feel after giving birth. They are out of me now and into the world. And AI helped me bring these forth at the speed of inspiration for which I resonate and pulse at. It allowed me to move with my spirit rather than wait for resources or space. And that's really the true promise of the technological tool. Not to replace the artist, but to serve the imagination at its fullest and broadest potential. So these works really represent the reflections of sculptural dreams in my heart that are represented now as very high resolution and masterfully printed two-dimensional works of art. This would become the solution as each work lives in great detail, large on a wall. They become a doorway into the multi-dimensional dynamics of the artist's imagination.